The attic was dusty, filled with forgotten things, among them a small wooden box. Inside, nestled among yellowed letters, lay a silver locket engraved with a single word, "Remember." It belonged to my grandfather, a man I never met. He died in the war, they said, a hero. But what was he like, this young man in the faded photograph? His letters told a different story, not of heroism but of humanity. He wrote of fear and courage, of longing for home and the camaraderie of his fellow soldiers. He spoke of a German soldier he befriended, sharing cigarettes and stories during a brief truce. They were enemies, yes, but also young men caught in a conflict they didn't create. One letter held a pressed wildflower, a splash of color against the thin paper. He'd sent it to my grandmother, a promise of their future together. World War II was fought on countless fronts, each leaving an indelible mark on history. One such front, often overshadowed by the D-Day landings, was the Italian campaign. Here, amidst the rugged mountains and ancient ruins, Allied forces fought a grueling battle against a determined enemy. The Italian campaign was a war of attrition, fought inch by inch, hill by hill. Soldiers faced not only fierce enemy resistance, but also treacherous terrain and harsh weather conditions. The battles for Monte Cassino and Anzio were particularly brutal, etching themselves into the memories of those who fought there. The stories of the Italian campaign are often tales of resilience and sacrifice. We remember the soldiers who fought bravely in the face of overwhelming odds, who scaled treacherous peaks and endured relentless shelling. While the battle raged in Europe, another equally brutal conflict was being fought in the jungles of Burma. This was a theater of war unlike any other, where soldiers battled not only the Japanese but also disease, starvation, and the unforgiving terrain itself. The Burma Campaign was a testament to human endurance. Soldiers, many of them from British India, fought with valor and tenacity in some of the harshest conditions imaginable. They hacked their way through dense jungles, crossed treacherous rivers, and faced relentless enemy attacks. One of the most remarkable stories of the Burma Campaign is that of the Forgotten Army, a force of over 2.5 million men from British India. These soldiers, often overlooked in historical accounts, played a pivotal role in the Allied victory in Southeast Asia. They fought with distinction despite facing discrimination and prejudice. Section 5, Code Girls, Breaking Barriers, Breaking Codes. Behind the front lines, a silent battle raged, a war of wits and ingenuity. Here, in dimly lit rooms, a secret army of women worked tirelessly to crack enemy codes and intercept vital intelligence. These were the Code Girls, unsung heroes whose contributions played a crucial role in the Allied victory. Recruited from colleges and universities across America, these women possessed sharp minds and a talent for puzzles. They operated complex machines, analyzed intercepted messages, and painstakingly pieced together fragments of information. Their work was demanding, requiring long hours, absolute secrecy, and unwavering focus. The Code Girls broke barriers, proving that women could excel in fields traditionally dominated by men. They faced skepticism and prejudice, yet they persevered, their dedication fueled by a sense of patriotism and a belief in the importance of their mission. Their contributions shortened the war, saving countless lives. Section 6, the Tuskegee Airmen, Flying High Against Prejudice. The skies of World War II witnessed not only aerial battles but also a fight against prejudice and discrimination. Among the heroes who soared above the clouds were the Tuskegee Airmen, the first African-American military aviators in the United States Armed Forces. These men, facing segregation and racism at home, answered their nation's call with courage and determination. They endured rigorous training, proving their skill and mettle in the face of doubt and prejudice. They flew with distinction over North Africa and Europe, escorting bombers and engaging in dogfights against enemy aircraft. The Tuskegee Airmen faced a double threat: the enemy in the air and the sting of racism on the ground. They were often relegated to inferior equipment and denied the same opportunities as their white counterparts. Yet they persevered, their achievements challenging the deeply ingrained prejudices of the time. The legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen extends far beyond the battlefields of World War II. Section 7, the Navajo Code, Talkers, Unbreakable Bonds, Unbreakable Code. In the heat of battle, communication is vital, but what happens when the enemy speaks your language? During World War II, the United States Marine Corps turned to the Navajo Nation for a solution, creating a code based on their complex and little-known language. These were the Navajo Code Talkers, unsung heroes whose contributions proved instrumental in the Pacific Theater. Recruited from the Navajo reservation, these young men developed a code that baffled Japanese intelligence. They used their native language, a complex system of tones and inflections, to transmit messages with speed and accuracy. Their code, never broken by the enemy, played a crucial role in key battles such as Iwo Jima and Okinawa. The Navajo Code Talkers faced danger not only on the battlefield but also from their own comrades. In the early days of the war, they were often mistaken for enemy soldiers, their language a source of suspicion rather than strength. Yet they persevered, their bravery and dedication earning them the respect of their fellow Marines.
Section 8. Resistance and Resilience, the unshakable spirit of occupied Europe. The shadow of Nazi occupation cast a long darkness over Europe, but even in the face of oppression, the human spirit refused to be extinguished. Across occupied territories, ordinary people rose to resist, forming underground networks, sabotaging enemy operations, and providing shelter to those in need. These acts of resistance, often small and seemingly insignificant, were acts of defiance against tyranny. They were a testament to the enduring human spirit, a refusal to accept the darkness. From the bustling cities to the quiet countryside, ordinary people became heroes, risking their lives to fight for freedom. We remember the families who hid Jews in their attics, the shopkeepers who passed along coded messages, the teenagers who distributed underground newspapers. These acts of courage, often carried out in the shadows, chipped away at the Nazi war machine and kept the flame of hope alive.
Section 9. The Home Front. Shared Sacrifices. Unwavering Hope. While soldiers fought on distant battlefields, a different kind of battle was being waged on the home front. Millions of men and women far from the front lines answered the call to duty, their contributions proving vital to the war effort. Factories hummed with activity as women stepped into traditionally male-dominated roles, building tanks, planes, and ships. Children collected scrap metal, families rationed food and supplies, and communities came together to support the troops. The home front became a united front, a testament to the collective spirit of a nation at war. The sacrifices made on the home front were not without their toll. Families endured separation and loss, their lives forever altered by the conflict. Section 10. Echoes of Valor, Preserving the Stories of a Generation. The generation that fought and lived through World War II is fading away, their voices growing quieter with each passing year. It falls upon us, the inheritors of their legacy, to ensure that their stories are not lost to time. We must listen to their stories, record their memories, and preserve their artifacts. We must visit the battlefields, walk through the museums, and read the letters and diaries they left behind. We must honor their sacrifices by remembering the lessons they learned and striving for a world free from the horrors they endured. Each photograph, each letter, each medal tells a story. Section 11, lest we forget, Carrying the Torch of Remembrance. The echoes of World War II still resonate today, reminding us of the fragility of peace and the importance of vigilance. As we move further away from that pivotal moment in history, it becomes even more crucial to remember the lessons learned and to honor the sacrifices made. We must remember the horrors of war, the senseless loss of life, and the devastating consequences of hatred and intolerance. We must remember the courage and resilience of those who fought for freedom, the sacrifices made on the front lines and the home front, and the unwavering spirit that ultimately triumphed over adversity. Carrying the torch of remembrance means more than just remembering the past. It means learning from it and striving to create a better future. It means standing up for what is right, fighting against injustice and oppression, and working tirelessly to build a world where the horrors of World War II are never repeated.